now we're live on YouTube, and then I gotta explain a few things about Talk and Talk before we start. So, as you know, we are a conversation platform where I can come here and talk in a lot of languages. Today we speak in English about elderly drivers. So, let's start. The first question is, should elderly people over 70, be forced to give up their driver's licenses? What do you think? Let's start with you, Ricardo. Should elderly people over 70 be forced to give up their driver's license?
Well, I believe that's not necessary. Just a minute, please.
Okay, don't worry. I'll talk to Monica during that because I haven't talked to her. Hello, Monica. Good morning. How are you today?
Hello, good morning. Fine, and you?
I'm great too. Thanks for asking. So, Monica, today we're talking about elderly drivers, okay? Like people who are driving that are too old to drive.
Are you listening well?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thanks.
So,
I could answer if you want.
Oh, come on, please.
There is a little noise from my side. I believe that you don't notice.
No,
yeah. Well, I believe that is not necessary, but certainly the exam should be more. How do you say? I forgot the word. Rigorous exists this word. Rigoroso. I don't know. Strict, yeah. And because yes, certainly, for example, I believe that until 50 years old, currently in Brazil is one exam each 10 years. And I believe that is more than 70. I believe that is with 2 years, I'm not sure, but around 2 years. So in this case, it's necessary more exams to secure if the driver could lead well with this responsibility. Besides that, I believe it's not necessary because there are young people that drive so badly. So in this case, depends on the situation, is analyze each case. That's it.
Perfect. They don't need to like give up. They need to be evaluated to see if they need to give up. That's it. Perfect.
Exactly.
And you, Mariana, what do you think? Should elderly people over 70 be forced to give up their driver's license?
No. I thought the advanced age cannot be determining factor for anyone to stop to drive, but the physiological state or physical can be determinant for this case, not for the age.
Perfect. So they need to be evaluated, just like Ricardo said. They need to see their mental state fine for them to drive.
Just because the age, no.
Perfect. And what do you think, Murilo? Should elderly people over 70 be forced to give up their driver's license?
No, shouldn't. Yeah. There are some possibilities for verify if these people are enabled for driving. Yes. For example, making exams or tests or having tests. Yeah. If these people can drive, yeah, yet there are other ways for check it. And for my opinion, no, I shouldn't. Yeah, because there are so many people with so much health in this age. Yeah, for example, we someday stay older. Yeah, and we wanna driving as well. Yeah, it's totally. No, I agree Yeah, it's okay.
Perfect. That's it. And you, Monica, what do you think? Should elderly people be forced to give up their driver's license?
No, I don't agree with this. I agree with the everybody because I agree if necessary to evaluate with more frequent. It's necessary to more exams because there are a lot of elderly people to drive well. But I think it's necessary to evaluate.
Yeah, that's true. I think like I agree with all of you, but I think it should be really often this test because like I remember that my grandfather he drove until he was 83, 84 years old. So imagine a guy like with this age driving. I know he can drive well, but he was too old for that. And then when he was 84, his test was like every 5 years. Era de 5 anos. And then when he was like 84 or something like that, they said he couldn't drive anymore. But he drove until that. And then he wasn't driving very well. Like he wasn't seeing clearly the things. Ele não estava vendo as coisas direito. So like terrible idea to let this guy drive, but they let. And then he didn't suffer any accident, but I thought it needs to be really often this test because it was 5 to 5 years, but still it was not enough. I guess it needs to be like.
Yes, I think it's necessary to diminish, to
decrease
the distance between the exams.
I totally agree. It needs to be more often. So let's go to question number 2. Why does aging sometimes make driving more difficult? So why being older makes driving more difficult? I don't know if it makes because like I am young and I learned how to drive like last year. I don't know how to drive. And then for me it's difficult. So imagine when I get older. So why does aging sometimes make driving more difficult? Let's start with you, Mariana. Why do you think it happens?
Yeah, because you need to have search quickly reflex, you know, and maybe when you are old, you can to be like when you are young. But for drive, the reflexes for one is difficult. I don't know, maybe for me was a woman because it's much thing to do and I don't have the... Ai, gente, eu até esqueci em português, sabe aquela pessoa que faz um monte de coisa ao mesmo tempo?
Multitarefa, multitask.
No, sim, I forget, but for me it's difficult to pay attention in the traffic, the mirrors, the change the marcha, acelerar, stop the car. So it's difficult for me, difficult when I was young and maybe when I was old too.
I have the same problem. I don't know how to pay attention to all of those things. That's why I don't drive, because like it's impossible for me to pay attention to traffic, to the mirrors, to the traffic lights, to everything. It's impossible. So I don't drive. I hate it. I don't know how even I got my driver's license, but I hate it. And it's difficult. For me, it's totally difficult. It's one thing that it seems impossible to me. So imagine for old people who are like naturally slower, né? São mais devagar, né? Geralmente. And why do you think, Murilo, aging sometimes make driving more difficult?
Yes, as you say, more slowly thinking, yeah, thoughts, yeah. The power is less reasons, yeah. When I stay older, you have it less strong, yeah, for driving as well. Let me see, yeah. About the eyes, it's possible using glasses, yeah, for resolve it, because in my case, when I have the tests for driving, I put the glasses for enable driving. Yeah. And but in my case, I use the how can I say, lens? Yeah, contact lens. Yeah, for make exam, because if I forgot my glasses, I received the notification. Yeah, I don't like it because so much predicate. But yeah, I think how, as everyone said, less reflex, as Mariana said, yeah, I think this situation can be cause a little difficult.
Perfect.
Gente,
why-
só para eu... Ai,
Oi,
desculpa.
fala. Não, pode
Só
falar.
para eu falar que eu lembrei a palavra, na verdade é coordenação. Eu não sei se é, mas eu acho que eu, como mulher, eu não tenho tanta, e meu esposo tem coordenação com as duas mãos para dirigir, para fazer o que tem que fazer com o pescoço e tal, e outras coisas também. Então era só para não ficar mal entendido.
No, don't worry. It's coordination. I guess it's not because of the gender. I guess it really depends on the person. Because, for example, my father, he didn't drive. My mom drive the entire life. A minha mãe que dirigia. And then she did the things. Não que ela fosse a melhor motorista do mundo, né? But she could do the things. And then I guess it depends on the practice. Acho que depende muito da prática também, né? Not only the gender. But the coordination is really important when you're driving. Really important. They're muito importante. I don't have. And you, Monica, why do you think aging sometimes make difficult? Meu Deus, make driving more difficult. Tô confundindo driving and difficult.
In my opinion, with the age, we lose some reflex. We have difficulty with some movements. I think it's more complicated.
That's
It's
true.
common.
Yeah. I guess like for old people, they don't have the ability to do the things fast. Not only drive, but anything. They don't do things fast, né? And when you're driving, you need to be fast, né? Quando você tá dirigindo, você tem que ser rápido. Não rápido para dirigir, mas rápido para fazer os movimentos. And they're not. Old people, they...
When the age, pay attention. Some elderly people have difficulties to virar,
To turn.
to turn the neck. It's a simple movement.
Yeah, that's true. And they feel more pain, right? So sometimes they have this difficult, but today is being difficult to turn my neck. So depends, right? That's true. And why do you think, Ricardo, does aging sometimes make driving more difficult? Take a deep breath.
Why the aging sometimes make driving more difficult? I'm not sure if you understood well this question about aging.
Aging é envelhecer.
Yeah.
Porque this makes driving more difficult sometimes.
Well, I believe that is your reflex. I don't know if exists. Became slower, and is maybe I believe that is necessary glasses sometimes. Well, if you if you go to the doctor regularly, it's not exactly a problem, because nowadays it's possible a lot of interventions, surgical interventions, or just use glasses. And but about the reflexes, normally the elderly people drive slower than others. So I believe that is one of the reasons. I believe this. But if nowadays is common, people reach 70 years old, for example, and they have they health. So I believe it's not exactly a problem. Depends on each person, because there are people reach this age and well, it's not so good, but another's is healthier than young people sometimes.
That's true. That's true. It depends on the person, né? Depends how healthy they are, not how old are they, né? I agree with you. So let's go to question number 3. This one is nice. Who is a safer driver, an elderly person or a young teen, and why? So let's see your opinion. Murilo, why do you think? Who is a safer driver, an elderly person or a young teen?
Yeah, there are so many differences. For example, younger driving faster a lot and it cause big dangers. It's happening so many times. I heard about it. Yeah, when you make safety for your car, young teen it's paid more expensive. Yeah, because then cause a lot of problems. Yeah, I've passed these problems in the past, yeah. And elderly driving more slowly, no, more slow, yeah. Drive slowly, yeah. And thinking slowly as well, and thinking around you, around them, yeah. And become more traffic more safety, yeah. I believe, yeah, it's not general, yeah, but the most cases it's happening so much.
Mhm. It's safer to be slower than to be faster. That's it.
Yeah, in my opinion, it's the main difference.
Mhm. Perfect. And what do you think, Monica? Who is a
Oh,
safer?
more responsibility as well. For example, young teen no don't have experience and drink beer so much sometimes, yeah, and cause it, yeah, this is the same.
Mhm. No, that's true. Young people, they don't have a lot of responsibility, like in general, né?
Yeah. And
Generalizing, they don't have.
pay the more expensive for safety, for example, safety car. Yeah.
That's true. That's true. And what do you think, Monica? Who is a safer driver, an elderly person or a young teen?
Yeah, the question is very complicated to answer because depends on the situation or depends on the points. I think a young driver to drive fast. I don't like this. And another point, for example, I have a young son. My son to drive well, but I don't like it with my son to drive close to another car. I think it's necessary to have a distance when it's necessary to stop, in my opinion.
Mhm.
But in elderly people, to have a more responsibility. But depending on the age, some people lose the reflex. I think it's necessary to analyze the situation.
Mhm. Perfect. You can say, like, in general, who is a safer driver, but
Yeah.
it's the case. Perfect. And you, Ricardo, what do you think? Who is a safer driver, an elderly person or a young teen?
Well, I could say that it's not correlated to age normally. I believe that is good drivers. It's not correlated to age, but normally it's more common. Good drivers after some age. But well, certainly there are good drivers. Young people could be good drivers, but if you have to choose, certainly I choose elderly people. because, well, they put more focus in this situation.
Mhm.
That's it.
Perfect. Yeah, it depends on the case. Just like I said, it's not related to age. It's more related to like the person, right?
Yeah.
That's it. And what do you think, Mariana? Who's a safer driver, an elderly person or a young teen?
Like the older says, I prefer the early, but depends the point of view, like Monica say, depends the teenager or younger. But in general, I prefer the elderly person because it's more calm and prudent. I don't know, but it's not the absolutely certain, but it's just my opinion.
No, that's it. I guess I agree with most of you. Like, it's safer to be slow than to be fast, in my opinion. So, like, maybe you bother others if you're too slow. Se você for muito devagar, você vai incomodar outros. But it's safer, right? It's safer. So, and as we see, usually, older people, they drive slower, né? Eles também dirigem mais devagar, né? So, in general, né? No geral. And then I think it's safer to drive slower than to drive faster. Of course, it depends on the case, like in a road, maybe. It depends, right? It depends. So let's go to question number 4. Which physical abilities do you think decline with age and interfere with driving? So like physical ability, something that you have in your body that helps you drive, and then with age, it declines. So which physical abilities do you think decline with age? So let's start with you, Monica. Which physical abilities do you think decline with age and interfere with driving?
In my opinion, I think people lose some reflexes and eyesight. Eyesight is correct? Eyesight. And in some cases, common sense, because it's very complicated. Because in some cases, with the age, people think with the reason always.
That's true. Yeah, and sometimes they get too angry, right?
Yeah.
While driving and may cause problems. But
Yes, losing the patience.
that's true. My mom once argued with an old man in the traffic, so it was funny because she didn't do nothing. The guy only wanted to yell at her. So sometimes they get either too happy or too angry. It depends on the old person, right? Depende da pessoa mais velha.
Certainly. My grandfather worked as a taxi driver until till his death. He just stopped working when it's not more possible because, well, he felt a lot of pain, and so in this case he had to go to the hospital and became in the hospital until his death. But he worked as a taxi driver until 80 years old.
80, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Sometimes he told me that there are some how do you say, passengers complain a lot because he drive slowly, and okay, my friend, don't worry, I completely understood. Please, it's not necessary you pay me. Get out of my car, and you could how do you say, pick up another taxi or something like that. But okay, the more part of the passengers, okay, go ahead, and certainly in the next time. But the most part of the time, he used in that time there aren't Uber, and so in this case it's just taxi drivers, and the the parade. I don't know if it was, I forgot the taxi driver
The stop?
stop is a side of a hospital, and there are a lot of guys, 10 taxi drivers, and they used it to play damas or xadrez or chess, né? Or domino, I don't know. And that's weird, because he went to work until Sunday. I don't know, but in my opinion, it's weird. I can't see myself working, but on this age. But well,
Mhm.
depends on the people. No?
Yeah. And I'm sure if he worked until this age, it's because he was capable of doing that, right? Because
Yeah.
like worked with other people, né? Trabalhar com outras pessoas, não era só ele dirigindo por ele, né? He was with a passenger there, so I'm sure he was capable of doing that.
Mhm.
But and then when he was not, he stopped. I guess that's what people should do, right? Anyway, I know a lot. I don't know, but I've seen some taxi drivers who are older than the usual, or even Uber driver. I guess Uber there's an age limit for that, but I guess like taxi drivers, you can be like whatever age you have, you can be a taxi driver. But it's nice to hear those stories because in the past it was a little bit different. Right nowadays, it's not that common to see people playing chess on a taxi stop, but that's it.
Yeah.
And what do you think, Mariana? Which physical abilities do you think decline with the age and interfere with driving?
The vision, the loss of the reflex. You start to, in some cases, start to shaking your hands or your foot. I don't know, something like that.
Mhm.
You start to lose your strength, muscle strength. I don't know. It's not because you have a sickness in your brain, em contexto geral, porque eu não sei como falar, tipo, aquelas doenças que afeta o cérebro da pessoa, que ela começa a tremer, Parkinson,
Alzheimer.
ou...
Alzheimer.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. No, it's totally dangerous, right? If you get something like that, Alzheimer or like a Parkinson, I guess it's really dangerous for you. Can't drive with those diseases because it's not affect your vision or something, but affects your coordination, your mental state too, which I guess needs to be good for you to drive, and a lot of things. If you shake your hands all the time, you can drive, right? So it's impossible. And you, Murilo, what do you think? Which physical abilities do you think decline with age and interfere with driving?
I think weak arm, yeah, weak legs.
Weak everything.
Some problems in your foot, yeah. Because it's important to go to the gym, practice sports every day, yeah, and keeping your body working better, and avoid these diseases, yeah, this pain, because it's causing so many problems, and it's very boring, yeah, for when you are at this age. But when I stay very older, for example, 90 age, it's not possible more, yeah, because you stay very weak, yeah. It's not possible control, yeah.
Mhm.
This thing, it's more important you paid for you Uber, yeah, because you have to accept this, yeah.
Mm.
It's crazy.
No, that's totally true. You need to accept your reality. If you cannot drive, don't drive. Because
Yeah.
there are some old people that they are still, né, eles são teimosos. If you can drive, I want to drive, I can drive, and they think it's like that. But if you can put in risk your life and others too, right?
But some older peoples are teimoso, yeah.
Mhm.
Not older peoples, I think everyone, not
Mhm.
about age, yeah. Important you understand.
Yeah, no, of course, of course. And what do you think, Ricardo? Which physical abilities do you think decline with age and interfere with driving?
Well, I believe that is, I don't put in this same bag. I don't know, like exist this expression, diseases and the physical abilities. Well, because certainly, if this person have some disease like Alzheimer or Parkinson, certainly this kind of a problem cause a lot of bad situations, not exactly driving, but any kind of activity. But I believe that is important if this driver do exercises, let your muscle strong. I believe that is better. So in this case, if this person don't do exercise or something like that, I believe that is not so good. But I my grandfather is an active person, so he worked since he was child. So for him is a normal situation. So, but another people don't use it to be so active. So depends on the person, I believe.
That's true. Maybe for him who worked during his entire life, it was easier to do certain movements while driving that an other old person might think it's harder, né? Talvez para ele tenha sido até mais fácil, né? Fazer algumas coisas na hora de dirigir. Para outras pessoas pode ser mais difícil, because of practice, right?
Exactly.
So let's go to question number 5. What do you think are some signs that what do you think are some signs that an elderly person is unfit to drive? So, like some things you can see that makes this person not exactly a driver. Something things that you see that need to make this person stop driving. So let's start with you, Mariana. Tell me.
Nowadays it's easier. Some situations, for example, in my grandfather's time, don't exist GPS.
Yeah.
So nowadays, my grandfather have to remember how addresses on his city. So today is just put the address on the GPS and let the gadget guide.
That's true. And personally, I don't know how a person could do that because they grab people and they can take this person to their house, right? So, like, you imagine if they didn't know how to get to their house. What would they do? I don't know how taxi drivers worked before GPS. I really have no idea, but they existed, right? So, let's see. Mariana, what do you think are some signs that an elderly person is unfit to drive?
When they present some symptoms you said before, maybe shake the hands or you maybe you see the person forget some things. It's a sign for a big problem maybe, and lose the vision. Don't listen well. Não sei se isso existe direito, essa palavra. Tipo, começa a não ouvir direito. Or something like that.
Perfect. Age problems, right? Problemas de idade, exactly. And what do you think, Murilo? What are some signs that an elderly person is unfit to drive?
That means unfit.
Unfit, they shouldn't drive.
Okay, okay, understand. Thanks. some signs, for example, you have your eyes, your vision, your view predicated, yeah, and your reasons are predicated as well, yeah, reasons, reflex, yeah, as Mariana said before, yeah, and let me see. Sinus. Alzheimer's, having Alzheimer's, it's more harder, yeah, but it's happening too, yeah, and yeah, some problem is in your mind, your brain, and in physics as well. That's it.
Perfect. So mental and physical problems, right?
Yeah,
Like,
man. Thanks for remembering this.
perfect. That's it. And you, Ricardo, what do you think are some signs that an elderly person is unfit to drive?
I believe the same signs that in other situations, like, I don't know, forgot a lot of things,
Mhm.
have difficulties with the balance. For example, the person is walking and have difficulties to keep the balance. I believe that some things like that, difficult to do some movements, like, I don't know, regular situations like brush the teeth, or I don't know, things like that.
Mhm. If they can do regular activities, like daily activities, right? Something that
Yeah.
you do every they can drive, exactly. They can brush their teeth. How can they like turn a wheel, virar volante? Impossible. Makes no sense. And you, Monica, what do you think are some signs that an elderly person is unfit to drive?
When they start to have difficulties doing simple activity at home, or have some neurological or mental problems, I think it's possible to note the little things. I think it's necessary to observe these points.
Perfect. You can notice, right? Because it doesn't like happens from a day to another. It's something that grows gradually, right? So
Yeah.
maybe he stops like losing his balance, just like Ricardo said. Maybe becomes weaker, fica mais fraco, né? Perde o equilíbrio. Vai crescendo, né? That's true.
Every day it's possible to notice little things.
Mhm. That's true. And then you can see when this person is able to do something or not, right?
Yeah.
It's visible.
Yes, because it is complicated to convince another people, please, it's necessary to stop.
Yeah, they are stubborn, né? Isso não tem.
Yeah.
That's true. So let's go to question number 6. Are you a backseat driver? This is a passenger who always comments on how others drive. I won't answer this last question. Here's just this one. Are you a backseat driver? This is a passenger who always comments on how others drive. I don't know how to drive. I have a driver's license, but I don't know how to drive. So I can't be a backseat driver, right? Because I can't comment on other people's driving. So I am not. What about you, Murilo? Are you a backseat driver?
Repeat, please. This what means backstreet drivers?
A passenger who always comments on how others drive.
Okay. Talk about these drivers, for example.
If you are a backseat driver, if you comment on how other people drive.
Yeah, understand. Okay. If I express in the traffic, yeah.
Yeah, not necessarily.
Ou try fight, ou speak more tal, yeah. Ou tal, Taylor, yeah.
Mhm.
No. For example, I try to take care with myself, yeah, in traffic, because sometimes these people doesn't have focused in the traffic, yeah, and I try to check and view around me, yeah, all the time, yeah, because sometimes I try to take care with me and another as well, yeah, not just me, yeah, because people make some things, or yeah, make bad some things in the traffic, yeah, the most time.
That's true. That's true. We need to be careful who we are arguing with when we are in the traffic, right?
For example, when I stop my car, I look for around me and I start this. Yeah.
Perfect. And you, Ricardo, are you a backseat driver?
Well, I don't know. I believe that I'm not exactly a backseat driver because I don't use to. I didn't use to. How do you say? Hire a taxi driver. No? And but normally I like to talk with the driver. I believe that is sometimes that you receive good advices. The drivers sometimes used to share your experience, not exactly as a driver, but the life experience. You know? I remember the last time that I used the Uber. The guy is how do you say foreigner, and they speak 3 or 4 languages. I forgot French, because I forgot one country on Latin America that speak French, and he speak French, English, Portuguese, and Spanish. And that's nice. He told me a lot of experience in another countries too. That's nice.
And
But
it's hard to see, right?
what?
It's hard to see a person like this. É difícil ver uma pessoa que sabe falar 4 línguas, né?
Yeah.
Sendo turista. It's nice.
I can talk badly for language. I can talk in English, in Spanish, in French, and in Portuguese, but different from this guy, I talk very badly. So
I can say about Spanish or French, but English is not bad, and you know that.
it's but you you are suspicious because it's not so. You are kind of a teacher, so in this case.
Yeah, but I hear your English almost every day, so stop with that. Come on.
Yeah. Thank you.
And you, Monica, are you a backseat driver?
Yes.
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 You comment on other people.
Yeah, with other people, with my son, with my husband.
You give tips for everything.
Yeah. Oh
we
my
do.
gosh, it's impossible to have a plantation. It's very complicated. Because okay, I am a man.
Yeah, normal. Don't worry, it's normal. And you, Mariana, are you a backseat driver?
Yes, like Monica, but I just say something for close friends or for my husband. The other person, I don't say anything just for them. Principal, my husband, and he say, "You can drive. Come here, drive." No, I can't, because when I drive, I need have a focus on the street, much attention, and I prefer to in the back seat, and just saw the cell phone or singing something, nor no focus on the drive. I prefer him drive.
Perfect. I am not a backseat driver, and I don't like to comment on how other people drive, but like sometimes I do some comments like, you're going too fast, or you're going too slow. Oh, look at the traffic lights or the speed limit. I am this person. But I don't like criticize. Eu não fico criticando ninguém, não. Só falo prestar atenção, because I am afraid.